What's going on YouTube? Band-Aid here. We're bringing you another video, back again with the vlogs, and today just gonna talk about me, talk about a little bit about myself, where I came from, jobs, mainly just kind of like career and jobs. So we're gonna talk about jobs and just kind of like where I've worked growing up through high school, college, and where I'm at now. So you guys can get to know me a little bit better and just kind of what I do on a daily basis. I'm actually just leaving work right now. It is actually 7:20 in the morning. I work the night shift. So we'll get into that towards the end of the video where I'm at now. But yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into this. So high school, back when I was 16 years old, I got a job right when I was 16 years old. I lived in Moore, growing up, Oklahoma. It's a pretty decent sized town. It's right by Oklahoma City. So if you guys know the Oklahoma City Thunder, the NBA team, yeah, I pretty much just live in the heart of that. I work downtown, pretty much right around where the Thunder plays. So, but yeah, back in high school, I worked at Taco Mayo. I don't know if they have that where you guys live. It's kind of a smaller version, chain, kind of like Taco Bell. So everyone knows Taco Bell. But yeah, Taco Mayo is pretty close to my house. Man, back in those days, it was back in 2003. Back in 2003. So man, that was a long time ago. That was like 2016. Man, that was like 13 years ago. Sheesh, that was a long time ago, man. That makes me feel old. Dude, back in those days, man, I made $5 an hour. Can you believe that? $5 an hour, that's nothing nowadays. Like, y'all need to let me know in the comment section below, like, if you guys, any of you are in high school and you have a job, man, I bet you make double that at least. Now, dude, pay was so low back then. I remember my checks, because I worked part-time, but I worked a decent amount of hours. I want to say I worked like at least 30 hours probably a week. I worked a decent amount. But dude, my checks were only like $300 like every 2 weeks. It was crazy. That was a lot though back then, man. I remember I felt like I was balling, man. Back in those days, I remember I originally had like a pager. Man, that was like $3 a month for a pager, bro. The monthly fee for that. You were cool if you had a pager. Like, oh, let me just page people real quick. Have it on your hip, thought you were so cool. Then you had the flip phones, the Nokias and all that back in those days. That's crazy, dude. That really makes you feel old. But yeah, dude, made $5 an hour. Then I remember getting a raise like towards my senior year, a 50-cent raise, man. I was one of the highest paid employees at Taco Mayo, rocking a whole $5.50 an hour, man. So that's crazy, dude. So yeah, worked at Taco Mayo, dude. Their fast food, honestly, it wasn't that good. I didn't think it was that good, but you know, like if you work there, like if you've ever worked fast food, when you make it yourself, it actually tastes really good. So I can make it taste really good to myself. Man, I got so many stories. We'll have to make some later videos of actual Taco Mayo days, but man, it was fun, dude. I worked with a lot of friends that I actually went to high school with, so it actually made the work environment really fun. But man, we rocked that place. But yeah, I worked at Taco Mayo. I worked there for like 3 years, just all throughout high school. And then after I graduated high school, I actually moved to a different town that was like 2 hours away. It was Tulsa, Oklahoma. And when I moved there, actually, in between my junior and senior year is when I signed up for the military. I actually joined the Army when I was 17 years old. If any of y'all know anything about the military, if you join whenever you're 17, you have to have your parents' authorization, so they both have to sign off. So I had to have both my parents sign off to let me join. And my mom was totally for it. She was they were both really nervous, you know. They just didn't want anything to happen to their baby, you know. I wasn't the only child. I have a sister, but I was the only son. And they were worried, like any other parent would be, worried about their kid. But my mom was all for it. My dad was definitely not 100% for it. And I remember he initially didn't want me to join, and he wasn't going to sign off and let me join. Which, I mean, we talked about it, and he was okay with it. But if he wouldn't have let me, I was like, I'm going to join when I'm 18, so you're just kind of holding me back a year, So he let me, he signed, and I signed up when I was in high school. Initially, what I wanted to do when I was in the Army, like, I wanted just to be like a cook, I was like, man, I'm working at Taco Mayo. I was like, I can whip up some good quesadillas and nachos, so how hard would it be to cook for the Army, at that point, I really didn't think much about, like, pride and, like, serving for your country and all that. I was just thinking about college, and trying to pay for college. My sister was just about done with college at that point, and she had a lot of college debt racked up. And I was just thinking about, man, all that college debt I don't want on me, I want to be able to have a free college. And at that time, you know, they were offering free college. They offered a pretty good sign-on bonus. So I was like, man, my buddy Dan, combat engineer, we play with him sometimes on PlayStation. He doesn't play much anymore now because he has a kid. Just had a kid. Shout out to you, Lieutenant Dan. But he had just joined a few months before that, so he was talking to me about it, trying to talk me into joining. And so yeah, I went to the recruiter, and you have to take an ASVAB test to see, you know, like what jobs you could qualify for. And I qualified for like a few different jobs, but one of them was actually a combat medic. And at that time in high school, I really didn't have any interest in like medical field at all. I just wanted to do like computers. I took a bunch of computer classes when I was in high school. I was like, man, I'm set on, I want to be like a computer programmer or like a web page designer, something cool like that is what I really wanted to do. If you hear all that in the background, guys, it's raining right now pretty hard. I'm just driving from work on the highway. It's raining pretty good. I've had a lot of rain lately. But yeah, so he's like, combat medic. I was like, huh. I was like, I don't know, that sounds kind of cool, you know? And so I just went ahead and went for it. I was like, yeah, I'll be a combat medic. Why not? That'd be kind of cool. So I did that. In between my junior and senior year, I went to basic training, and I did that. And I was playing high school football at the time, so I missed out on all the high school camps, which kind of sucked, you know, because I was kind of away from everybody, from the coaches and everything, and so that didn't really help out too much. But so yeah, I went to basic training between my junior and senior year, came back, then we can get into the details on a later video as well, but I had some relationship drama back in high school, and yeah, I actually got cheated on by my girlfriend at the time with my best friend, which hopefully that hadn't happened to any of you guys. I'm sure it might have, but yeah, that sucks. So broke up with her, and then my best friend at the time that she cheated on me with was on the football team as well. So I was like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this crap. I'm out. I'm not playing football. So I ended up not playing football my senior year, and I had played football all my life, ever since I was a little kid. So man, I was really into it, really committed. And I was pretty decent at it, I felt like. I just didn't have the size. I was pretty small. So yeah, that's all for another video. But yeah, so quit football, and then finished out my senior year of high school, and then after my senior year of high school, ended up doing what they call AIT, so pretty much just like your tech school. So I went to medic school, and it was in San Antonio, Fort Sam, Houston. I did that for like 4 months, and man, it was fun. It was definitely a challenge. Man, I really got into the medical field from there. That's what set me off in the medical field. So I became a medic in the Army, and did that for 6 years. Deployed once to Iraq, and that's how I met Huckabee that you see sometimes on here. We deployed to Iraq in 2007 and 2008. But yeah, after high school I moved to Tulsa, and that's the whole relationship drama video that we'll get in. So I ended up getting back with that girl that cheated on me. Yeah, I know, give her a second chance. Moved to Tulsa, and my second job after Taco Mayo, I worked at a call center as just a call center rep. It was a few different companies they had changed and shut down, but it was the same call center. Dude, but those jobs were cake, man. I went from $5.50 an hour at the call center. Man, I think I went up to like $10 or $11, so it was like crazy different. It was crazy better. I was like, man, this is so much more money, and all I'm doing is sitting in a call center answering a phone. I was like, once you got down, you know, like the whole system and like how to like talk to people, like pretty much in a call center, you just got to know how to work around things. If you just know how to talk to people and like say what they want to hear and like keep them calm and chill, like dude, that job was cake. Like it was so easy, and man, I really loved it. It was cake, man. So $11 an hour, it was amazing. But ended up switching. Like right before I got deployed, I got hired on at another hospital in Tulsa. It was my first hospital job, medical job, like civilian other than combat medic. I worked as just an equipment tech. It was real basic. I worked in the OR, just setting up different things for procedures and stuff in the OR. And I bet they were pretty salty because I only worked there for like 3 months, and then I got the letter that we were deploying to Iraq. So I was like, peace out, you can't fire me. But I was like, I'm out. So I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I was out. And technically, since it was a military thing, they can't fire you. They have to have your job available when you come back. But so yeah, I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I was living in an apartment at the time, and so I threw that apartment out, threw all my stuff into storage. I had a motorcycle that I bought, and went to Iraq. We deployed for a year, and And so between 2007 2008, I was overseas, and that was pretty good money, honestly. Like when you're deployed overseas, it's all tax-free. And so that was great. I had just bought this truck that you see here. It was at the time, it was in 2007. It was a 2006 F-150. So it was pretty much brand new. It only had 13,000 miles on it. You heard that from the other video probably. So I bought that and used all my deployment money to pay off this truck. And dude, I'm glad that happened too, because at that time gas prices were skyrocketing. If y'all guys remember it all, gas prices were going up to like $3-4 a gallon. It was insane, dude. It was costing like 80 bucks a tank to fill up this truck, and I was like, I can't afford that. On top of the car payment for this was like $350 a month on top of the gas. I was like, dude, I can't afford this. So I was gonna have to sell this truck probably. So I actually worked out perfect, because there was called a Patriot Act back then, and they might still have it now. But if you get deployed, the banks have to drop your interest rate pretty low, and the interest rate on this was way higher back then. Because I was young, I didn't have really good credit because I didn't have anything established. So they had to drop my interest rate. So yeah, I was able to throw all my deployment money on my truck, and I made the last payment right when we came back. So I used all my money, paid off my truck. So I had a paid off vehicle. Truck only had like 13,000 miles, 15,000 miles, and it was like paid off. It was great. And so like now I don't want to get rid of it. It only has 82,000 miles. Yeah, it's 2016 now, but 82,000 miles and it's an 06. Like, dude, no way am I selling this thing. It's like brand new still. So yeah, that worked out great. And then that whole relationship just went to crap. I ended up not getting back with her when we came back. She ended up hooking up with random guys, ended up getting pregnant and all that crap. So I was like, I'm out. I'm going back to my family in OKC. So I moved back to OKC whenever we came home. We stayed with my parents for a few months, me and Huckabee, while we were searching for a house, and found a house, a nice small house, dude. So we moved in, and we had a third roommate. It was different roommates throughout the time that we lived there, but man, it was nice because you charge them a certain amount, and it was cheap for them, you know, like 300 bucks a month, all bills paid, and we just all split the groceries. So that worked out great for them. It worked out great for me because they were pretty much paying my mortgage, and you're pretty much, you know, establishing your credit. You're actually working towards something, paying for a house. House payment was cheap. It's cheaper than, I don't know how expensive apartments are for you guys, but man, dude, the house payment was $550 a month. Dude, apartments here nowadays for like a 2-bedroom are like $800-900 bucks. It's ridiculous. You're better off just buying a house. Plus, you work towards building your credit. So, yeah, they were pretty much paying the mortgage, and they were getting a cheap house payment. So, place to live. So, did that, and then right when I came back, what job did I do? Oh yeah. So at that time, I went to paramedic school, and I was working in the hospital when I was in paramedic school. I worked in surgery again, but I worked as an anesthesia tech. So you pretty much just prepare everything for the anesthesiologist, get their cases set up, clean everything up. You're pretty much like the anesthesiologist's slave. But man, you got some good medical experience, got to see some really good things. And some of them were actually pretty cool. They knew that I was a medic in the Army. They knew that I was going to paramedic school, so they would let me intubate. So they'd let me, like when they put the patient to sleep, they'd let me help put the breathing tube down the patient's throat. So that was pretty cool. Helped me like just explain things to me of what they were doing. So man, yeah, I got some really good experience there. And graduated paramedic school, and then I switched jobs, and I went to be a paramedic on an ambulance. And I did that for 3 years in Shawnee. And man, that was really good experience. I loved it, honestly. But dude, the pay wasn't really that good. I mean, it was a 2 years college degree. I got an associate's degree. And honestly, I really wasn't making much more than I was already making, maybe like $1 more an hour. So yeah, it was only like 12-13 bucks an hour. But I mean, the way you got good money is we kind of like, y'all have probably fire departments around where you live, and they work 24-hour shifts. So like you only work 10 days a month. So like the schedule was great. Only working 10 days a month, which worked 24-hour shifts. So it was like on one, off one, on one, off one, on one. So like say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there's 3 days, and then you get 4 days in a row off. So like the days of the week rotated throughout the month of what you worked, but yeah, you got 4 days off. So that was really nice. But man, it got rough towards the end because like we were getting more and more calls throughout the night. So I felt like you really didn't get good sleep because you're getting woken up for just stupid stuff. It was annoying. Like people called 911 for the dumbest things, like, oh, I scraped my finger, or, ooh, I have a bruise, or you know, like people would call for, like nurses would call at nursing homes like for dumb stuff, or we always have to like transfer patients to like downtown where I live now, and it was like a good 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, for like, because the hospital where we would transfer out of, like, they couldn't handle like really sick patients, so we'd have to take them to the city. So man, I felt like we'd get woken up all the time just for crap. And yeah, you made pretty good money because you worked a bunch of overtime, because you worked 24-hour shifts, but you worked a lot of hours. So man, it really put a lot of wear on you. And I really felt like for all the stuff we do, like, people don't even know, like, the general public has no clue what paramedics do. Like, they just call them ambulance drivers just because they don't know. But like, dude, you push drugs when people are dying. Like, you're putting breathing tubes down, you're doing CPR, you're giving drugs to keep them alive, you're shocking them, doing compressions. Like, you like diagnose when people are having a heart attack, and like you give them medicines and you shock them to keep them alive. Like, you're running 12 leads and diagnosing. You do so many things that like the public has no clue of. It's really crazy, man. So like, I really feel like we should have got paid way more for what we did. But so that's what made me decide to go to nursing school. Plus, like, I don't know, being a paramedic, there's not really a lot of reward behind it, because like most people that you take care of in that call 911 are older people that haven't taken care of themselves. So like, more obese people that don't manage their blood pressure, eat fast food 24/7, so they have heart attacks, or a lot of smokers that have like COPD and bronchitis, and are on taking asthma and breathing treatments because they can't breathe, but they're not changing their lifestyle. So it's like, there's no passion, and I don't feel like there's much of a purpose behind it, because like, here you are trying to help somebody that doesn't even care to help themselves, and it's like, why should I even like have a desire to help you like quickly when you don't care to take care of yourself? So here I'm going to give you a breathing treatment to help you breathe temporarily, but you're just going to go out and go back to smoking, like you've been doing for the past 20 years. So like, it's temporary fix, but you're not changing your lifestyle. So that's what made me kind of get rid of that area that I don't want to work in that area anymore. So I went back to nursing school, and for paramedics, if you're already a paramedic, nursing school is only 3 semesters long. So like, man, that's not bad at all. So I ended up getting another associate's degree. So I got 2 associate's degrees, and so graduated nursing school after that. And what is it, 16? So I've been there 2 years now. So it was like 2.5 years ago, maybe back in 2013 or so, 14. I don't even remember, but yeah. Graduated nursing school and went to work at our children's hospital. It's the only children's hospital here in Oklahoma. So we handle all the level 1 children cases, anything. We handle everything in the state of Oklahoma. So everything gets transferred to us. I work in the pediatric ICU, they call it the PICU, Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, in the state of Oklahoma. So worked there, I've been there, July it'll be 2 years, and man, I love it. Honestly, I love it. Definitely, it's not for everyone, I'll say that. It's emotionally challenging. You see a lot of good cases. Kids will come back, or they'll send Christmas cards or whatever of their success stories. They'll walk in after they've recovered, and man, that definitely will drive you to just keep working, man, because yeah, not all of them make it, and we do have a lot of kids that die and pass away, and man, it's very emotionally draining. I try not to work a lot of overtime just due to that fact. I don't really need to financially, but yeah, it can definitely work a toll on you if you start getting a lot of cases of kids that don't make it, man. It's tough. It really is tough. But we do have the good cases, and so that's good too. And I don't know, being a Christian, I just feel like there's a need there to help kids and just be that light, because there's a lot of negativity. There's just a lot of darkness in that area. People need to have hope, something to grab onto in those times. And I just feel like I need to be that light in that area and just be the godly influence and just give them hope, pray with them and just be that person that can give them some hope in that time. But man, I love doing it. I love working with kids, and we don't have any kids yet, so it's definitely some practice. I tell Patch all the time, I'm like, man, when we have kids, I'm gonna be your supervisor and we change some diapers, because I'm a pro. Dude, I remember when I first started there, I didn't really have any experience with kids, because on the ambulance, people really don't call 911 for kids, and if they do, it's either life-threatening and they're dying, or it's really nothing at all, and it's really not that big of a deal. So yeah, we really didn't get kids that much at the hospital or on the ambulance. So dude, I remember jacking up kids' diapers all the time. So yeah, I got some good getting some good I'm home now, guys, so it's getting dark here. I'm gonna open the garage again just so there's some light on this video. But yeah, I got getting some good experience, man. I really love working with kids, man. They're resilient Let's try to fix that garage real quick. There we go. Getting some really good experience with these kids, and man, I love working with them. The families are great. Opened up a whole new world as far as kids. I didn't even know about kids that are born with like heart defects. Dude, there's kids that are born with just one ventricle, and like all their different piping, which I'm not gonna get into the medical terms, are like all twisted, or they only have one ventricle. It's crazy, guys. It's amazing. I'm learning every day, and I love it, man. Really love working with kids. They're really resilient. And you really have a passion working with kids. You know, all the kids are innocent, you know, unlike the adults, you know, they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask to get in car wrecks, or they didn't ask to be born with this defect or this abnormality. So really love enjoying working with kids. The pay is great. I only work 3 12-hour shifts, work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. But we have to get there early, and we usually get off late. So I usually end up working 13, 14 hours a day, but it's only 3 days a week. It's not bad. And for the most part, it's self-scheduled, so I try to work like Monday, Tuesday, Fridays, so break it up so you're not working 3 days in a row. Some people like working 3 days in a row. I personally don't, just because if you get really hard assignment and it's really tough, I mean, that second and third day, you're just worn out. So yeah, try not to do that, but that's usually my schedule, Monday, Tuesday, Friday. The wife works Monday through Friday, just regular office hours as a, she works as a legal assistant, so we can have 2 totally different fields, but I like to try to have some of the weekend off, Saturdays and Sundays, so we can at least hang out. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, but let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. I might try to start doing like more vlogs as far as like college life and just different tips, because I've been talking to Cheese lately, because he's like starting college and he's been asking a lot of questions. So I'm sure a lot of you guys might be in similar situations and might have general questions, you know, about college, just taking general ed classes, or when to apply and what to apply for. If you have any interest in the medical field at all, man, I can definitely give you some tips and tricks and things like that. So yeah, we could just definitely get a discussion going. Let me know in the comments below. For you guys that are working, let me know what you do for a living. I'd definitely like to know like what you guys do. And definitely throw a like on this video if you enjoy these type of videos, just talking about me, and if you want to see more of these in the future. And yeah, definitely leave comments below. We can go ahead and start more good conversations about like college life and just any day life. I have a lot of experience behind me being a little bit older. So yeah, guys, that's about it. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll check you guys later. This is Band-Aid. Peace out, guys.